Hello, and
Welcome.
welcome to
Alternate fucking
Casuals.
What makes you
Fucking
casual?
What you know,
fucking
All right. Let's fucking do this. Ultimate effing casuals. I just said fuck, and I didn't say fucking casuals. Oh, man. The duality of man. Nathan, Isaac, how we doing? How casual are we feeling this fine Sunday?
Dude, I hit a parlay. So I'm actually feeling like maybe not too casual. But yeah, I'm happy to be here, man. Yeah.
I'm feeling like uber casual today. I'm filled with hopium that Conor McGregor will grace the octagon once again. And so, I mean, that's probably the most casual thing you could say about anything MMA related. He's actually coming back this time for realsy, guys.
So he says.
This time for real.
Before we get to that, just a little bit of extending the olive branch to the boxing B-sides. Coming up this week, Boots, Jaron Ennis versus Usman Lima. How do you think this is going to be competitive? I'm hoping that Lima has a better outing than people are expecting. I think people are underestimating him because they just don't know who he is. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Boots do well. Like, I mean, this is his debut fight at 154. Lima has some fights at like 160 even. So I'm also hoping it's not like, 30 seconds and it's over. But I want to see it go a few rounds, see how Boots acclimates at 154. But I ultimately do want to see a finisher from Boots.
Yeah, I would expect that as well. Like, just taking a cursory glance at this guy, like, this is someone you'd expect Boots to knock out, at some point in the fight. You hate to call a fight a formality, but that's what this feels like, right? This was the body they could find at 154 to feed the Boots. So it's looking for more of a statement, less of a, I wonder what kind of matchup we're going to see. Like, well, Boots should kill him, and if he doesn't, then that's maybe more concerning than anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with hype around Boots and popularity. Like, that also comes with expectations. Like, we were putting Boots in these conversations against, Terrence Crawford a few years ago, against Virgil Ortiz. Obviously Boots did become champ at 147, but I mean, we have expectations about, what Boots can achieve. So let's see if he delivers.
I think people are overestimating Boots and underestimating Lima. Lima's not terrible. He does hold a secondary title, so he's not some scrub. But he's also not great. I'm expecting this to go later into the rounds, and I think people are going to make more of it than they should. Like with the Karen fights that Boots had, where it looked bad, but Boots was dominant the entire time. But it just appeared to be bad just because of the caliber of opponent.
Yeah, man, and this is his chance too, because if he gets this win, he gets to challenge, what is it, the German dude Barao for the title.
Barreau, yeah, Barreau.
Yeah, so this is his chance.
But let's get to the MMA. Conor McGregor for realsies this time. Nathan, you think this is it? You think this is for sure?
I want to believe. In fact, I will believe. I think it's happening. The timing of it, kind of makes sense. Like, his political run kind of blew up before the elections could even, properly begin in Ireland. So he's got that nonsense out of the way. But then this is also the kind of event that just screams McGregor. It's pure opulence. It's pure showmanship. He's the type of guy you would want to have on a card like that for what it's intended to be. And fan friendly style, still the biggest name in in MMA, despite him not fighting in a really long time. So I think they'll try and do it, but I guess it remains to be seen. We need to see him in the actual octagon before it's actually real.
I don't know. It's sort of weird because like he was supposed to fight against Michael Chandler for like UFC 303 or whatever it was, and he stepped out with like injury on his foot or something like that. But man, I mean we've been waiting to see this man fight for what seems like years at this point, and I mean the last few fights. I mean, was this last fight? It was the third Dustin Poirier fight, right? That was the last fight in the UFC.
Oh shit, that was a while ago.
Yeah, I mean that's time ago, and like, I mean, I don't know. There was a whole thing with the Ultimate Fighter. He was supposed to fight Michael Chandler. That never went through. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hope it happens because that is very good for the sport. I mean, you put Conor McGregor on that type of card, at the White House, on CBS, simulcast. I mean, just think about how many people are going to be watching that. Like, how many concurrent viewers you're going to get if you combine like the White House plus Conor McGregor. I mean, it would be insane. It's very good for the sport. But I mean, I'm sort of cautiously optimistic because, I mean, I don't believe him when he says he's already signed. I don't believe him. I think he maybe wants to fight there. Like Nathan said, it's definitely something that I could see him doing, just with the fact that it's at the White House. He wants to have his name on that card. It's just a matter of like he wants to be paid or whatever. But yeah, I don't believe that at the moment something is that I don't believe there's a contract signed.
We were prognosticating beforehand, and what Nathan had come up with was Conor McGregor's side of the house is signed, but Dana White coming out saying that it's not a done deal could mean that the whole event isn't finished. I don't know. Does that make you feel less doomer?
I mean, I could be led to believe it because I mean, if you tell Dana White like who do you want to have as the main event, he's gonna say Conor McGregor. I mean, that's their biggest star like ever. So I can believe it. Like that part, I don't find like impossible to believe. It's just how are we gonna look whenever we start getting 1 month out, a few weeks out, especially with what Conor McGregor has been saying. He wants to get paid 100 million. He wants like these special visas. I mean, like are they already done negotiating all of that, or like what's going on there? But I guess that's all like the intricacies like going on like behind the scenes. But I mean, I hope it's true. I hope he's I hope they already have him as the main event scheduled. I mean, they have to be planning this thing already. So I do hope he is there.
He'll get the special visas. He'll get it. I don't know if that's gonna be that big of a worry. Speaking of not being that big of a worry, the Legacy Fight Alliance heavyweight champion Denzel Freeman signs to UFC. Are we expecting this to be? Is he going to rise up the contendership? Heavyweight is.
I'm actually not
lacking.
too. I'm not too well versed like in LFA. Like I've not heard of him or like seen his fights. But like I mean, this is good that the UFC is even doing this because I mean they do need talent like real bad in the heavyweight division. So it's a good sign at the very least.
It's good. They're also getting him at 33. He's not like ancient, right? This should theoretically be right in his prime.
Yeah, for heavyweight. And speaking of primes, Adesanya not retiring? ? Rejects a Strickland rematch? ? With an exclamation point. What do you make of him turning that down?
I mean, that's the most.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was say that's the most interesting fight by far that they could do. So I'm not sure why he's trying to duck that. Maybe he thinks he would fare better against like I don't know, Kyle Borrallo or something like that. But if he had an opportunity to fight the number 3 ranked guy, he's currently 5th. I feel like if you were gunning for a title shot, you would take it. So I'm not sure what the holdup is there on his end. Maybe he thinks a Duplessis rematch is more likely. I could maybe see that, but
Not unreasonable.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing. Like, at this point, Adesanya, he's sort of out of the title picture. Like, especially considering like his recent fights, like his recent record. Like, I mean, he's not in talks. No one's saying that he's gonna beat Khamzat. But I would think, like Nathan said, like either the Strickland rematch or the DDP rematch, like those are makeable fights, and those are pretty big fights too. The DDP Adesanya fight was massive going in, and then Strickland with the massive upset versus Izzy. I mean, you would think he would want to get at least one of them back. So if it's not Strickland, I have to assume it's DDP, and if it's not either of them, then I mean I don't know. I mean I feel like this. At this point in his career, it's not really like going back to contender status. This is just like getting those, the big fights he has left in his career.
He's not going to let himself get turned into a gatekeeper.
Yeah, I mean, considering, how dominant he was as a champion, like, is he really going to be going back to like, is he going to be like the Neil Magny of the middleweight division? Like, I don't see him downgrading like that. Especially considering how much money he's already made.
Well, with all that, let's move into some recaps. Two really quick ones. Well, one of them really quick. Dana White's Contender Series, Week 7. We are coming up on the end. Catch them while you can. The upcoming cards they're packing in more heavies and light heavies. So chances are you're going to be seeing a lot of contracts getting thrown out in the coming weeks. One Friday Fights 126. Now, this one was packed with some star power. It was a lot of Muay Thai guys that were crossing over to kickboxing, and the differences between the two sports were apparent. Unfortunately, like in the headline, Nabil Anan, the current bantamweight Muay Thai champion, had some difficulties with the rule changes. The number 3 featherweight Muay Thai contender, Shadow, he dropped the ball against Liu Mingyang in the kickboxing rule set. So sad to see. I like Shadow. And,
a good name.
Yeah. Anand's younger brother, where is he? Yanis Anand. He was fighting Muay Thai style. He got a win down the bill. I'm not sure. Anand is like 20-something, and he looks like a baby. And Giannis, being the younger brother, even more so. Holy shit. But enough of that. UFC Fight Night in Perth, Western Australia. Ooh boy, where do we want to start? Were there any prelim fights that are worth bringing up?
I guess one thing I just remember in the Navajo Sterling fight with Bellato, I think they said something about how Bellato is the first fighter, like that in his last 4 fights, he has like 1 loss, 1 win, 1 draw, and like 1 no contest.
The most well-rounded.
Yeah.
Let's go from the bottom up of the main portion. Tom Nolan submits Charlie Campbell in the first. Neil Magny in the third submits Jake Matthews.
This one,
gate was kept.
The gate was
yeah,
kept.
this one also had some weird stuff. What was it, like at the end of the second round? Like, he thought that the ref thought Magny was choked out or submitted. And then like the round he noticed like the round was about to end anyway, and he realized he had made a mistake calling off the fight. So like it was like some of the weirdest like reffing I've ever seen. So he calls it thinking Magny is unconscious.
Out,
He sees that Magny's okay, but he's like, damn, I called it early. He hears the bell ring. He's like, oh, okay, we're just gonna assume the round ended. And it's like, I mean, it's like, okay, I guess Magny wasn't asleep. I mean, either way, you sort of mess someone up because like if he calls it, then it's a bad stoppage because Magny was awake. But I mean, you stopped it thinking he was submitted, and now Jake Matthews thought he had a submission win, and now he has to go through a third round, and Neil Magny somehow clutches in the third round. I mean, it was a weird situation all around, but I mean, Neil Magny, this is just a classic Neil Magny type of win.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a tough situation as a ref. Like, I think the better decision is to let the fight continue because, yeah, that's true. You could have taken away a submission win potentially, but we could see at the moment of the stoppage, it clearly was the incorrect call. We're not exactly sure what would have happened. And at least you have a whole nother round to kind of help decide the fight, right? Like, that's
Mhm.
tough for Matthews, but you still have 5 minutes potentially. And, you know, if nothing else, right, the UFC awards you points more so these days for attempted submissions, right? The closer you get to ending a fight, you know, he probably won the round off of that near submission. So, you know, going into the third, at worst, it's 1-1, and you still have a chance to win it, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know, it was just so weird. I mean, but Magny, he holds records in the welterweight division for a reason. Like he might be like the best gatekeeper in the UFC. I mean, if you can't beat Neil Magny, you're not going to beat anything in the welterweight division. Like anyone that gets past him, we know they at least have some semblance of like of
They got a
elite
shot,
skills
right?
at the welterweight division. Yeah, they have a shot at becoming champion.
Moving up, Jack Jenkins gets a UD over Ramon Taveras. And Jimmy Crute submits Ivan Erslan in the first. Fun. Jimmy Crute, he's the local boy they always try to put on the Australian cards.
Yeah, he's been on quite a few. Yeah, he used to have some hype a few years ago, but it's not been going like super well for him recently. But I mean, yeah, this is a decent win for him.
Was this a decent win? Carlos Olberg stops Dominic Reyes in the first. Isaac, I know you were really hoping for Reyes to pull it out. What are your thoughts coming away from this one?
Man, like 30 seconds into this fight, and you know what, we had talked about it going into it, like, you know, Olberg should win, but you know, there was like, we wanted to believe the hype, we wanted to believe the storyline, but like 30 seconds in, I'm seeing Olberg, like, you know, press Reyes. He's getting his combinations off. Like, I mean, the speed advantage was just like like Olberg had a massive speed advantage. At like 30 seconds in, I'm like, damn, Reyes is really gonna get knocked out cold, and he did, man. Olberg put him down at some nasty ground and pound, and Reyes got put out. It was, I mean, I guess that's probably what should have happened. Knowing MMA, like, rarely do we get like the good ending or like the storybook endings.
Yeah.
So we should have expected it. Like, we should have, I guess, fully expected it. But still pretty sad to see. But I mean, I guess that means we have a fresh new contender in Olberg. We'll see what happens with him. I mean, he's, you know, if he doesn't get the title shot next, he's, you know, super close. So I mean, it's a good result, I guess, regardless. But yeah, definitely sad.
Yeah, I mean, just tragic. I think most MMA fans were rooting for Reyes here, right? Because I think most of us, you know, believe he was the victim of, you know, a robbery on, you know, the biggest stage. And it's like, you really want to root for the guy. But I mean, man, fighting's tough, man. If you're not at your best every night, I mean, it ends very quickly. So rest in peace, Dominic Reyes's resurgence, or at least his resurgence to the title. I'm sure he could still get significant wins at light heavyweight, but he's not going to be sniffing the title after that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you also, considering like the knockouts he's had, you have to, maybe consider retiring even. I mean, at one point, this damage is starting to get real bad. Like, I mean, he's been knocked out like pretty brutally. This is like his fourth time. And I mean, you might have to start looking at, why am I really fighting? I mean, this was a nice little run he had, his last hoorah, but you have to consider your own like long-term health. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what he does next.
What does Ulberg do next? Got to be
he's
got to be in line for a title at this point, right?
Yeah. I mean, he has the win over Jan Blachowicz, which it was lackluster. Like, I don't think he was going to get a title shot off that. But then he gets, a pretty quick knockout win over Dominic Reyes. Is definitely past his prime, but he had some good wins prior to this. He's close, man. He might get the next title shot. I mean, we'll see. There's been some other things that have happened in the light heavyweight division that have like shook things up, but I mean, he's at the very top for sure.
Yeah, and I think this fight made me kind of recontextualize the Blachowicz fight. Like, I expressed my disappointment in how he looked in that fight, but that could just be Jan Blachowicz is really good still, right? He's lost more than he's won lately, especially against the bigger fights. But like, it could just be it's a really tough fighter who's fighting someone else is really tough, right? And it just levels out. And so, definitely I think Ulberg should be next in line for a title shot.
Gotta be. Especially given the way that things, recent events have played out. It would be nice to have a new face in with the champ. Oof. Anything more for this fight night for UFC Fight Night in Perth? All right. Putting some notes in here. LVX Media Net. That's the social media handle on everything. It's all one word. If you can't find it, chances are we're not on it. Wherever you're listening, hit us with a rating. It really helps. It helps push the episode, helps push the podcast up in the search algorithm. And if you're feeling a little extra, leave a review. That would be really helpful. But not as necessary. A rating is more than enough. And Patreon, if you want to get rid of ads, lvx.be/Patreon. And that's how you do that. All right. Taking a moment. What if a small natural step could make a profound difference in your daily well-being? Many of us grapple with everyday stress, looking for natural ways to support our mood, our mental resilience, and our overall vitality. The answer might lie in nature's wisdom. Support for this episode is from psilocybin, the powerful psilocybin mushroom in a convenient microdosing capsule. Revered in traditional practices, psilocybin is gaining recognition for its remarkable benefits in mental health. With psilocybin, you're choosing a natural path to holistic wellness. I feel it's incredibly important to say that this isn't a substitute for professional medical advice, it's just a really good supplement. Of the 3 blends, I've tried the Inner Peace blend, and I can tell you from the beginning I felt a greater sense of calm and mental clarity. I've been juggling with some unfortunate stressors, and I've been doing it with a lot more resilience. But psilocybin is more than just a supplement, it's a step towards a more harmonious you. If you want to have a look at what psilocybin has to offer, go to lvx.be/psilocybin, that's SOULCYBIN, and use the code LuxMedia to get yourself a nice discount. Help us out a little bit in the process. Take the first step towards inner peace and clarity. Nurture your nature with nature. lvx.be/psilocybin. Use code LuxMedia. In today's connected world, your digital life is always on. You shop, you bank, you connect with friends and family. All of this happens online. But with every download, every click, there lurks a hidden danger: viruses and other cyber threats. One wrong move and your personal data, your photos, even your identity could be at risk. And that's a scary thought. You need more than just hope or vibes. You need proven protection. Support for this episode is from Malwarebytes. It's your digital shield, constantly detecting, blocking, and eliminating the nastiest shit that you can find online. Think of it as your personal cyber guardian, always on watch so that you don't have to be. With Malwarebytes, you can browse, bank, enjoy your online life with confidence. No more worrying about malware, phishing scams, ransomware, or any of that other nasty shit. Enjoy secure access to what matters most to you. Protect your digital world, protect your peace of mind. Take Malwarebytes for a trial run today. Go to lvx.be/mwb and invest in your online security today. And we're back. Into the previews. Tuesday, October 7th, Dana White's Contender Series, Week 9. There is a light heavyweight on this one. Otherwise, it's a lot of smaller weight classes. Just thinking about that Gray during the fights. That was
Yeah,
really harping on the weight classes.
Yeah, he was wilding.
Yeah. But there you go, Week 9. Friday, October 10th, One Friday Fights 128. Doesn't matter who's on it, you're going to get entertainment either way. 4 hours of excellent fights. Brutality up and down the card. But here's why we're here. Saturday, October 11th, UFC Fight Night in Rio de Janeiro. Woof, woof. Shall we start from the bottom up? Julia Pilastri. Oh, God. Karolina Kowalkiewicz. All right, that wasn't that bad. Walter Walker versus Muhammad Usman at heavy. Lucas Rocha.
That's
Is this a good one?
that's well, no, it's like, I mean, this matchup is really, like, this sums up what the heavyweight division really is. Like, this is gonna be plotting
Heavyweight
type.
slop.
I mean, we'll see if Walter Walker can get another heel hook, but I mean, this is supposed to be like some of the better, I guess, heavyweights in the UFC.
Generous use
Yeah,
of
Muhammad
Yeah.
Usman is like I'm sure Kamara wants to disown him, like, just based off that performance. He's really unimpressive. I mean, like,
If he was
like
not
cinder block feet.
Yeah, if he was not Kamaru's brother, he would not be in the UFC. I don't even know if he would have ever gotten in, but he definitely would have been cut by now.
Lucas Rocha versus Stuart Nicol at flyweight. Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Peterson at heavy. I'm expecting this is another slop fight.
Damn, I know Petrino. I've never seen Peterson. I've never seen him before.
And Joffo Filio.
Surely he's...
Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say maybe he's a local, but that does not sound like a Brazilian name to me.
Peterson?
Yeah. Man.
He's a Contender Series guy as of 2023.
He's
But
fine.
he's kind of... He beat Muhammad Usman. He lost to Shamil Gaziev. I mean, lost to WCA. Cortez Acosta. I mean, so pretty. I mean, nothing impressive.
Joffo Filio versus Clayton Carpenter at flyweight to round off the prelims. And into the main portion, Lucas Almeida versus Michael Oswell at feather. Ricardo Ramos versus Khan Ofli at feather.
Conor Oakley, I think, was a Ultimate Fighter. So like, I mean, I guess in discussing like recent trends, he should lose this fight, but we'll see.
Jonata Denise versus Mario Pinto, another heavyweight fight. Vicente Luque versus Joel Alvarez at welterweight.
This is where we
first
start getting
real
into the
good
good
fight
stuff.
of the card. Yeah,
Yeah.
this first great fight of the card, and a really scary matchup for Luque. Joel Alvarez is not, he's not elite, but like he is heading in the direction that he's going up. Right, Luque's going the opposite direction. So just we'll see. I hope he doesn't get knocked out. I hope he doesn't get really hurt because I love Luque. I've so many memorable fights watching him. So I'm wishing him the best.
Alvarez is deadly, man. I feel like I remember him fighting at 155 at one point, and like, I guess he moved up. But Alvarez he's deadly as hell in the fights I have seen. So I mean, this is definitely a fight that I feel like is gonna end in a finish. But I mean, I've said that before and been wrong. So we'll see.
This is the one that had my attention. Davison Figueiredo, 6th at bantamweight versus Montel Jackson at 15th. Montel Jackson is a hell of a striker, and Figueiredo his reputation precedes him. This is a hell of a fight.
Yeah, this is a really good fight. Although, yeah, sort of like I'm remembering this now because like they were playing this fight in the promotion. But Davison Figueiredo's last fight was against Corey Sandhagen in May, and his knee was like he got injured. I believe that's why the fight was stopped, was because like his knee got twisted, and maybe he tore something. It's a pretty quick turnaround. It's only been 5 months, and I guess maybe the injury wasn't like super bad, but
knee ligaments take like a year.
Yeah, I mean, it could. I mean, this seems like pretty fast for, I mean, he was like yelling in pain whenever the knee got twisted, and I mean, he like verbally tapped. So I mean, we'll see if that has any effect on this fight. If he was healthy, like fully healthy, or like I was sure he was fully healthy, I'd say he probably has good chances to win here. But considering, Montel Jackson is also no pushover, but then also adding in the fact that Figgy maybe coming into this with like, maybe not 100% with his knee, I feel like I might actually back Jackson here.
Yeah, I'm riding with Jackson as well.
Yeah.
At some point, the age, career length has to catch up for Figueiredo.
Yeah, I agree.
What bantamweight fight? Okay. Yeah, I mean, you never know when that's going to leave. I mean, the punching power is usually the last to go, and Davidson he's knocked a lot of guys out over the years. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a fight. I mean, should be very, very competitive. It might end brutally one way or the other, but this should be a really, really good fight.
Oh, speaking of good fights, question mark. Charles Oliveira, 4th at lightweight versus Mateus Gamrot, 8th.
I mean, so this is obviously last minute switch up. He was supposed to be fighting Rafael Fiziev, which I was fully prepared to say was going to be a really terrible idea. If Fiziev was here, I would not be picking Charles. And that's not because I necessarily think Fiziev is, that much better of a striker, but Charles is fighting way too quickly after the Topuria loss. And I don't know if I feel great about his chances of winning here, but this is a, quote unquote safer opponent. I don't think he's at risk of getting ragdolled, although, it's going to be difficult to win this one. Last minute change up on short notice.
I mean, this is definitely better for Oliveira in terms of like the style matchup. Like Gamrot is not known as some, elite striker like Fiziev is, with knockout power. This is more into his world, which is the grappling, the wrestling. So it's definitely, I'm definitely not as concerned as I was for the Fiziev fight, like you said, Nathan. But I feel like he has, I haven't seen the odds on this fight, but he has decent chances to win here. Oliveira is like one of the most decorated submission or grappling artists in like UFC history. So I mean, he's a submission threat pretty much anywhere. Gamrot, he has shown some pretty excellent skill before. I mean, he has a win over Sarukian, but it was a few years ago, of course. But the point still stands. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we could see some. I don't know if this is gonna be a stand-up battle. Really, it could end up being that. If they both decide that their grappling is perhaps too like evenly matched up. But I feel like we could be seeing some like elite scrambling here. This is definitely not one to recommend to like boxing fans or striking only fans.
This doesn't make the list of Isaac's boxing fans guide.
Yeah, no, this would not make my guide.
This is the kind of fight where if Oliveira gets tripped up or he gets knocked down, like he's gonna invite Gamrot to grapple. Like he'll fight off his back. So you're gonna see a lot of submission attempts. You're gonna see a lot of ground and pound. We'll see about the striking. Like sometimes it's funny, these guys that have, or at least like they have good takedown defense. That threat alone negates an active wrestling attack. So, and Oliveira was preparing to fight a striker for the last couple weeks. So maybe obviously he knows way more than striking, and he'll obviously adapt to Gamrot, but he may just have a more focused striking attack than he would have had he gone into this normally.
I am glad. I mean, like in other circumstances, I would have been happy to see Oliveira versus Fiziev like any day of the week. But considering the fact that he was like brutally knocked out by Ilya not that long ago, I am sort of glad that fight fell through.
Fiziev on a hot streak.
Yeah, I mean that would definitely not be good for brain health. Like, I mean, getting splattered by Topuria and then like, what is it, like 2 or 3 months later, getting splattered yet again by Fiziev. I mean, that can't be good for long-term health. This is definitely like a safer fight.
So let's say that Charles wins. What could be next? Because looking at the rankings, he's coming into this fourth. Ahead of him is Max Holloway, Arman, and Islam. No, Islam's not in this anymore. He's up at a welterweight now. So
Yes,
He's
this
still
is where
in
it gets
here.
to the issue. I mean,
He's
if he wins against Gamrot, like I think he's gonna need a few more wins. Like since Ilya is champion, I mean that fight just happened not that long ago, and like we saw how that went. So like, I mean, he's still. I mean, obviously he's gonna be top 5 if he gets this win here with Gamrot. But like, I think he's maybe like 2 fights away from another title shot, even with the win over Gamrot, just because of like how recent this loss to Ilya was, and in the manner that it happened.
Yeah, I think the obvious matchup is going to be Max Holloway if he wins, right? Because both guys, they're on the outs. Like Holloway has been already knocked out by Topuria. They could make a rematch, but they're going to be reluctant to. And Oliveira has gotten beat by Islam and Topuria. So like at this point, give the fans a really exciting fight. And Holloway versus Oliveira would definitely, like, you could do a BMF with that one, absolutely. But even if they didn't do that, like he's still kind of on the outside looking in because Makhachev has moved up for now, but win or lose, he's probably coming back down to fight Topuria. So Topuria is, maybe got his next 2 fights already kind of tucked away.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, we actually have like some information as well because. Like the UFC announced that Arman is going to be fighting Dan Hooker.
That's right. I forgot.
And then
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I saw some like rumors yesterday discussing that like they wanted Ilya Topuria versus Gaethje, to be like one of the first fights for the Paramount deal, which makes sense because like you do want like some of your bigger stars,
High
like, you know, at the
octane,
beginning.
too.
Yeah, for like the first few events. So it makes sense. I mean, and I mean, that's 4 fighters that you can take away from the top of this division. I mean, there's not much left, but like you said, I mean, Max Holloway, Oliveira, that's also a great fight, and you know they would be without a matchup. So I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. I think that's a good matchup. I say it would look weird because like if Gamrot wins, I mean, shit,
Paddy Pimblett
I don't know.
versus
Paddy
Gamrot.
Pimblett. I'm still like sort of confused about what they're trying to do with Paddy, because he got the win over Chandler, and like, I mean, he is one of their bigger like UK stars. So I just feel like they'd want to put him against, you know, bigger names. Like I feel like, and like Gamrot isn't exactly like a fan friendly like name. Like he's not as big of a name as like Oliveira, Holloway, Arman, Islam. I mean, even Hooker, I think, might be a bigger name than Gamrot is.
Probably.
So it's sort of lightweight is in a weird like state though, because like Nathan said, like Islam might be coming back, you know, after the fight with JDM, even if he does win the title. So like it's sort of in a weird position because, you know, Ilya, you know, we might not be seeing any fresh contenders challenge Ilya for the title, like past, you know, at least past, you know, whether or not he fights Paddy next, and then presumably Islam would be after that. So it's sort of in a weird state at the moment.
And that's all we got on the docket. Anything more for Fight Night Brazil?
Those top 3 fights are actually like pretty good fights, very good at matchmaking. Those are like quality fights as well. So if you don't want to tune in for the rest of it, that's fine. But definitely tune in for those last 3 fights.
A lot of heavyweight slop on this one. Should be
Yeah.
entertaining. Question mark.
Well, it can go either one of two ways. Either they plod and, you know, just limp their way to a decision, or there's like, you know, 4 first-round knockouts with like a combined 2 minutes of fight time between all of them.
One can hope. Let me do this. Pop quiz hotshot. What's tiny, fuzzy, and responsible for a large portion of the food we eat? If you guessed bees, well, you nailed it. Seriously, 1 out of every 3 bites on your plate depends on bees. So there's a bit of bad news here. These little heroes of our gardens and dinners are struggling. Between habitat loss, climate change, and pesticides, it's a fucking bummer. Without them, our world would look a lot different and it would be a lot less delicious. But there is good news. Support for this episode is from Project Honeybees. So when you pick out something nice for someone special, or just something nice for yourself, your purchase adopts a queen bee that you get to name and get to watch over, and you'll support the protection of these extraordinary little creatures. Ready to make a statement and a difference? Go to lvx.be/bees and start browsing for your next gift. Your next favorite accessory can also be a lifeline for our buzzing buddies. Project Honeybees. Get yourself a nice little discount, help us out a little bit in the process, and help save the fucking world. lvx.be/bees. Use code LEO33862. Buzz, motherfucker. All right. So, if you want to get yourself into the conversation, lvx.be/discord. That's how you can get yourself into the chat directly. If you go through the aforementioned Patreon, get yourself a role. When you come in with a role with a name color, you can bypass a little bit of the hazing that happens for new people. And after the most recent event with Grays involved, like some of you bring it on yourselves. But if you want to go directly to us, 833-589-7637. That's an anonymous line. It works on WhatsApp, so if you want to leave a message on whatever the fuck, by all means, be waiting for you. So, all that said, parting words.
We'll be praying for Oliveira's success. Longtime veteran of the sport. I mean, he's taken on so many challenges he didn't need to, and I'm really just hoping the best for him. Right, the sport's better when guys like that are around, and I hope that his eagerness doesn't crush his return.
Yeah, same for me. I hope he doesn't get flatlined, but I guess like on a separate note, I do sort of hope this whole White House card that's being discussed, like, it is very good for the sport. I really hope they are very careful with who they choose to fight. That they can fully trust they'll be there, and that they just put together a good card. Because I mean, it's seeming more and more like this event is real and it's gonna be big. So I'm really hoping they get it done.
I'm going to add a quote from Aristotle. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. So, yeah. Top 3 fights are great, but that's not a habit. Just had to throw a jab at Dana White there. All right, if that's it for this edition, then you've been listening to the Ultimate Fucking Casuals. See you on the other side of UFC Fight Night Brazil.
See you.